Hello students, hope you have prepared previous classes lesson. We have started chapter 15, improvement in food resources. So the previous class we discussed about different types of crops, Rabi crop and Kharif crop depending on which season they grow. Here I show you a picture. A farmer is plowing the land. What is plowing? Upturning or loosening of the soil is called plowing. Why does a farmer plow the land? Because plowing the land, it loosens the soil, so the soil becomes airy and the germinating seeds, the roots of the germinating seeds can penetrate. Also it uproots the weeds, so there are various advantages. So because of that, the land is first plowed, then it is leveled, manure is added to it, and after then little bit of irrigation is also done, and after that the next step the farmers show the seeds. Showing is the most important part of crop production. Before showing, good quality seeds are selected. Good quality seeds are clean and healthy seeds of a good variety. Farmers prefer to use seeds which give a high yield, means a high production. In India, there has been a 4 times increase in the production of food grains from 1952 to 2010, with only 25% increase in the cultivable land area. Actually, land is limited. We just cannot go on cutting trees just to increase the area of cultivable land. So, in that limited piece of land, we need to increase the production because population is increasing. So, how it can be achieved? Actually, if we use high yielding varieties of seeds in the same piece of land, the production can be increased. If we think of the practices involved in farming, we can see that we can divide it into 3 stages. The first is the choice of seeds for planting. What type of seeds we are going to show in the land. If it is of a good quality, that means high yielding variety, certainly limited area only, it will provide more amount of food. The first is the choice of seeds for planting. The second is the nurturing of the crop plants. Nurturing, that is taking care of the plants, so that whatever inputs which are required, that has to be supplied, so that the crops grow in a better way. Crop plants grow in a better way. The third is the protection of the growing and harvested crops from loss. When it is growing, at that time we need to take care of this, that is, it has to be protected maybe from the diseases or insect pests, or when it is already been harvested, when it is stored in the godowns, there also may be post harvesting losses, so we need to protect the crops from this type of losses. Thus, the major groups of activities for improving crop yields can be classified as crop variety improvement, crop production improvement, and crop protection management. So, first we will discuss crop variety improvement. This approach depends on finding a crop variety that can give a good yield. Varieties or strains of crops can be selected by breeding for various useful characteristics such as disease resistance, response to fertilizers, product quality, and high yields. One way of incorporating desirable characters into crop varieties is hybridization. So you get a term hybridization. What is hybridization? Hybridization refers to crossing between genetically dissimilar plants. Hybridization is crossbreeding between two plants, each having some desired characteristics, to obtain a plant having all the desired characteristics in it. That is called hybridization. It is nothing but a crossbreeding between two plants, each having some desired characteristics in it. Another way of improving the crop is by introducing a gene that would provide the desired characteristics. This results in genetically modified crops. That means by the grace of genetic engineering, we can insert some genes into the plant so that it becomes modified. That is, the gene which was not there, we insert it into it so that we can get a good production, or maybe resistant to diseases or different climatic conditions, it can adapt in a better way. So all this which can be modified by inserting some genes into it. So two ways we can improve the variety. One is hybridization and the other is by modifying or by inserting some genes into it. So it becomes genetically modified, which also we say GMO. For new varieties of crops to be accepted, it is necessary that the variety produces high yields under different conditions that are found in different areas. This is also adaptability of the plant in different areas. All the places do not have the same type of climatic conditions or the soil texture or the availability of water. So in that case, if it is adapted to different climatic conditions, so certainly these seeds can be used in various places. Farmers would need to be provided with good quality seeds for a particular variety. That is, the seeds should all be of the same variety and germinate under the same conditions. Cultivation practices and crop yield are related to weather, soil quality and availability of water. Since weather conditions such as drought and flood situations are unpredictable, varieties that can be grown in diverse climate conditions are useful. Now let us discuss some of the factors for which variety improvement is done. First, higher yield. To increase the productivity of the crop per acre. So that is, in the limited space of land, the production is more. Second is improved quality. Quality considerations of crop products vary from crop to crop. That means quality, in case of wheat, we see the baking quality. So baking quality is important in wheat, protein quality in pulses, oil quality in oil seeds, and preserving quality in fruits and vegetables. The fruits and vegetables, when it has been harvested, very easily it may get spoiled. But if we can have a variety which can be preserved for a longer period of time, certainly that is, it is an improved variety. So in case of wheat, the baking quality, protein quality in pulses, oil quality in oil seeds, and preserving quality in fruits and vegetables. So this is the second point in variety improvement. Third is biotic and abiotic resistance. Crop production can go down due to biotic and abiotic stresses. What are biotic stresses? Diseases, insects and nematodes. These are the biotic stresses. That is, diseases, it may be the plants may be attacked by microorganisms. Insects also damage the crops, and the nematodes. Nematodes are types of worms. So these are called the biotic stresses. And abiotic stresses like drought, salinity, waterlogging, that is accumulation of water in the land, heat, cold and frost, these are the abiotic stresses, and due to this biotic and abiotic stresses, the production can go down. So if the varieties which are resistant to these stresses can be made, so certainly it will improve crop production. Next, so we discussed biotic and abiotic resistance. Next is changes in maturity duration. The shorter the duration of the crop from showing to harvesting. So showing to harvesting, there is a duration. The harvesting, that is when the plants become mature, then it has been collected. That's what we say harvesting. So from showing to harvesting, there is a duration, a time duration, it remains in the field. So if it is a shorter duration, the more economical is the variety, because such short durations allow farmers to grow multiple rounds of crops in a year. Short durations also reduces the cost of crop production. And third, uniform maturity makes the harvesting process easy and reduces losses during harvesting. So, these are the advantages a farmer gets if the maturity duration is shorter. What are the advantages a farmer gets? Shorter duration allow the farmers to grow multiple rounds of crops in a year, also reduces the cost of crop production, and uniform maturity makes the harvesting process easy and reduces losses during harvesting. Next is wider adaptability. Developing varieties for wider adaptability will help in stabilizing the crop production under different environmental conditions. One variety can then be grown under different climatic conditions in different areas. If the variety has the ability to adjust itself with the various types of climatic conditions, so that if this plant can be grown in various places. It is not only in a particular place where the conditions are suitable, there only it can be grown. Rather, various places, maybe the condition is different, but it can be grown if it has that what we say wider adaptability. Adaptability means adjustment, ability to adjust. Next is desirable agroeconomic characteristics. Tallness and profuse branching are desirable characters for fodder crops. Fodder crops, that means food for the cattle we grow so that we say the fodder crops. So if the crop is tall and it has profuse branching, so more amount of food we can get for the animals. Dwarfness is desired in cereals so that less nutrients are consumed by these crops. If it is small in size, so in case of cereals it is a preferable character, because if it is small in size, so it will take less nutrients. Thus, developing varieties of desired agroeconomic characters help give higher productivity. So today we have discussed about crop variety improvement. Thank you, students.